So that's full of liquid on the intake. I'm just trying to do a seal test, see how long it holds, or if it in fact even drains any of that. And you see it's full of liquid, so we got a timestamp. Let's see, what time is it? Fucking no, I don't have anything out here to tell me the time. So, but anyways, yeah, doing a seal test. And then we're gonna turn her over, let her soak in all the oil she needs. I mean, like this. That chain's just fucking minced. So, doing a seal test. I didn't record anything prior to this. Didn't think about it. I took a couple pictures. I'll probably post them up. Or put them up on the thing or whatever post. But I got a polished piston in there. Ported head, ported polished intake, ported exhaust. Can I get to it? Yeah, ported exhaust, polished piston top. Was gonna put a polished cylinder wall or jug on her, but I didn't have a gasket for the bottom end, so I had to use the jug that came off of this motor, which all I did was just run a Scotch-Brite pad down the inside of it, which it'll be fine on this motor. It's just a shitter motor. But it's got a cam that I've been told is a badass cam. So yeah. It's got forward reverse. It's going on this thing right here. But yeah, we got this other 110 auto back here. Here's all the parts for it. I got to do a cleanup on the piston and the head. I mean, I've already cleaned on it a little bit. Oh god, it looks horrible. There's light reflecting. It's just covered in oil. See, I just oiled it down. And like I said, I was doing a little bit of seal testing on those old shot valves, and they're sealing pretty fine, so that's good. I did relap these valves, so I just wanted to see if I lapped it right and see if I bent a valve or not, because I set it out of time. I did a seal test prior to installation, and it sealed just fine for like 3 days. Nothing went through. So this is just a little bit of super lubricant oil, so it's not really going to hurt anything. If anything, it'll do some good inside of there, get some lubrication in parts that have been sitting out for months. I mean, they've been sitting inside of here, but I did coat them in oil as they sat on the shelf for a couple of months. But this chain, yeah, I see replacing this starter chain before much of anything fun happens on this thing. And just get the lightest of streams of lubricating oil running down it. I would turn this over, but then I would mess up my my seal test. It does seem to be draining, but that could just be leaking past the valve seat seal, which I don't expect that to be perfect anyways. This is a 110 cheap China bike motor. That's a cheap China bike. I've done way too much work to this head. In the first place, honestly, seeing that it seals this long for the 3 minutes I've been recording and the 10 minutes it's been sitting there before I started recording, it's all down there and it's sealed. Greasy. I can't touch those. There, so we find a different rag. Yeah, we've got the intake for her right here. Unassuming. It's a 90 intake, a 90cc intake. Doesn't look like much of anything, and then yeah, it's big. It's ported to match this. So these are designed and made to match each other. Hopefully my buddy got it right. I just kind of handed him the Dremel and said, go at it. And they handed him the head to match, and he matched this head, supposedly. Yeah. That's what we'll go with. We'll hope it's right. And, you know what? If not, still send it, because shit happens. We've got this head over here, but yeah, this is just a reference of what it looked like in there before, because this is like identical to what the other intake looked like. Let me dirty up that lip so you can actually see the diameter of it. Like, my thumb, you know, barely fit. That's a 90 cc. Oh, actually, this is a 90 cc. Shorty intake. That's a kickstart. And this is a 90 cc, but I mean, as you can see, she's much larger. She's much larger than that. So, and like my thumb can plug the whole hole on that one. No, I cannot. So I'm gonna have to run a bigger carburetor on this. I was already gonna have to run a bigger carburetor because this thing's just gonna want fuel. It's gonna want all the fuel and all the fucking exhaust flow I can give it. So I've got this exhaust for it, and that's a shitty exhaust full of oil. I gotta do some modifications, gotta lop that off. See, I have a E22 head that has that same pattern right there, and it's a little block off plate. I'll probably just unbolt that and put my block off plate on there so I don't have that retardedness flopping around, dangling around, being useless. I don't know what the hell it's for other than to be annoying. But it's got a catalytic converter right here. It's not really, it's probably just a baffle in there. And it's got a muffler on it. I've already chopped yunk. I put a pie cut in there, pulled it in because this exhaust has already been mocked up to fit on this frame, because that's not the exhaust for this frame. This exhaust goes to it goes to another four-wheeler. I can't remember what size motor it was. I done pulled it off. Like, it's been so long since I pulled it off of what it came on. But yeah, we've got front brakes, proper setup here. We had to custom make this handle. You'd never know, but we had to cut the shit out of a bunch of shit on here because this parking brake setup is different than the parking brake setup that was on this one. So we had to do that. So we have front brakes, which that's a good thing. Rear brakes are all hydraulic, led by this right here. We know we got good pressure in there. The piston's half broke, but you can push the other half of the piston down and it applies braking force. So we know that system's good. I just got to replace the master cylinder up there. And I'm hoping to do it to where I fill the master cylinder, pump it to get it to where it's bleeding, the new one, get it where it's bleeding out of here to where all I can do is just pull this, put it on the new one, and then circulate the bubble or so out. I'm just trying to do it the easiest way possible. Oh, this is actually a pretty decent sized caliper for one of these. I think that's a single piston. I have a couple of dual pistons I could use as an upgrade. That's what we're using as a seat for the thing. The gas tank, probably going to get upgraded with that gas tank right there. I have a new rear swing arm setup that's going to have this swing arm about back here. That's right there. Focus. It's right there. Sitting in the pile of parts. But yeah, first my plan was just to get it running as is, but I had to steal parts off of this motor to fix this motor, because I didn't want to put my performance parts on this motor because I'm just selling this motor. This motor is a keeper. One, because these are made bulkier. These are bad snapping points on these motors. I mean, and this is old school stuff, old style stuff. If you can't like reference a size difference, okay, there's that to a, what's this, 10 mil? Yeah, 10 mil. And then there's it to a 10 mil. So, I mean, if that tells you anything about why I'm keeping this motor and am not worried about putting the horsepower to this motor, this one's a little bit stronger. It's a newer age stuff. Oh yeah, let's just not look at that. That's not, yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah, we've sprayed everything down in grease that can be sprayed in grease. This was so rusty, it was stuck, but I've hit it with a wire wheel and grease so much, it's actually nicely freed up. Hopefully I can get this off. Now, this was all white rust corrosion inside of there. And you'd never know. I mean, you'd know because of the amount of rust inside of there. But hey, that's what the grease soak is for. Trying to aim through the fucking camera. Why don't I just aim? Because I want a good shot. But yeah, well, be fine. And I'm trying to get grease down in there because I know there's a two-way bearing in there. All right, so 3 minutes was the last time I looked down the hole with the camera and my eyes, and it's now at 10-minute mark. So what do we got? Oh hell yeah, we've got a good seal. And it should. There we go. Poop out of the exhaust. So there's more of it. It didn't come out of the piston. No, nothing came out of the spark plug hole. I'm trying to put stock covers on it and everything. I'm trying to make this thing look stock. And I'm not putting any performance looking parts on it. I should probably get a rag. Go away, Miata gaskets. We don't need you right now. That looks like it's doing its job. Sealing and such. And it's supposed to be in time. It felt like top dead when I rolled it over to it. Yeah, but the thing I should mention about this piston, it is a older generation piston in a newer generation motor. And what that does is just makes it ever so closer because of this jug. This jug is just like fucking, I think like a millimeter, maybe two shorter than the old style jugs. And the stroke is shorter. So it should be fine, but the piston comes really close to completely topping out on this head. That's why I was worried about bent valves and checking the seal, because I had ran it over a bunch of times, not realizing that I had it like supposed to be top dead here and then top dead here, and it was like down here when that was top dead, and I was like, oh fuck, did I bend a valve? Because it's now a very, very interference motor, and if I get it wrong and went and did a bunch of turnovers like I just did, we'd be having a different conversation. Actually, we probably wouldn't even be having a conversation. I would have ripped it apart, thrown stock parts back on, and never mentioned anything about this motor or about my quote-unquote performance parts that I've got right here on it that I've been telling you about, because, you know, I got it done right the first time. Run the motor over backwards just to turn that like it's supposed to go. Now, I could just hit some power to that. Why not? Let's see if the starter works. Will this just do the job? And maybe if I get it on the right terminal. That won't do the job. I kind of figured. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is turn the starter over with the drill battery. Not going to work. I'll blow up a drill battery. Calm down, Michael. We're not going to do that. Either that or the starter's bad, because that is a unusually loose plug. But I have a couple of good starters, so I'm not super worried about the starter being, even if it is bad, being bad. Silver motor. Do I leave it silver? I'll paint it red, because red means fast. Of course, it's all going to burn off, because This is not going to be a cold running motor whatsoever. She probably won't even like cold weather. But yeah, the inside of that was disgusting, and you can see I took time and shined it up, and I leave this stuff soaked in oil. You know, when I know I'm going to be away for a month, you just go give her a little shower. In the month I'll be gone. You know, in the amount of time I'll be gone, no new rust will form. Yes, I know this is probably an excessive amount of lubrication for a chain that's definitely gonna snap on me the first moment I get some real torque on it. When I say real torque, I mean just use the starter motor to turn it on. Because that's a... Ugh. Yeah. Don't even want to talk about how fucked that chain is. Yeah. I don't know why I just sprayed it down with grease and now I'm wiping it down. Something to do, I guess. Anyways, so the plan with this motor is to make well, it's really just to give my dad something fun to ride around the yard. He's disabled and doesn't really get out and do shit like he used to, so I get out here in this shop and I built this thing for him. Got this shop back in usable state. About a week ago, the shop was unusable because I just had it such a mess in here from months of projects. So I started a bunch of projects. It hit winter time, got real motherfucking cold out, and I didn't feel like really coming out here and working on shit. I still don't feel like coming out here and working on shit. I just knew this needed to be done because this motor was sitting here open and those parts, I'd wiped them down, and then I got frustrated while working on it and just left it all just sitting there. So I came out here today, I got this back together, got my compression. Well, not really compression, it's got compression, but that's not really what we were looking for or even caring about here. I know it's got compression. It's just got new rings, new piston. New piston. I mean, but you can hear compression. Alright. Yeah, so in the next video, hopefully this will be on that thing. I'm not doing that in this video. I'm cold. My hands are frozen. They're covered in nasty grease. Yeah. So we're going to end that here. I know it's a short video. I kind of rambled on. Didn't really explain much other than I just got this motor finished together. Got to run through, check all the bolts, make sure everything's there, everything's tightened. Got to get these caps on. Gotta get that oil changed because I don't want that oil coming in close contact with that new cam. It's a brand new cam, and that's some old funky oil in there. So I might get to an oil change. And when I say oil change, I mean whatever I got over there that works as good oil, good thick oil, is going in this motor. But it's better than this nasty whatever the fuck is in there. I poured that, looked like fucking honey dripping off the stick, black honey dripping off the stick. So I don't know. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one.